Yo, what's going on guys, Chadley here, and in today's video, we're going to be going over why the new Peregrine class mod for FL4K is now one of his strongest class mods. I've seen a lot of people saying that this new class mod is pretty meh, but I'm going to explain to you guys why this thing is actually god tier when paired with the right grenades and builds. So basically what this class mod is going to be doing is whenever a rack hits an enemy, they drop a grenade inside the middle of the enemy that they hit, and then it has a short cooldown. The cooldown is right around like 2 to 3 seconds, somewhere in there is usually what it feels like. And then this class mod can roll with Interplanetary Stalker, eager to impress an ambush predator. So in terms of skills, you're definitely just gonna want as much Interplanetary Stalker as possible. But this class mod, when paired with the right grenades, is absolutely insane. So I'm going to show you guys that, and probably the best grenade for it right now is the fish slap. If you guys have Groundbreaker, you guys probably saw this coming, and every time the class mod is going to spawn a grenade for you, this fish slap is going to hit the enemy and proc Groundbreaker. So when you guys are dealing a lot of damage with the racks and stuff like that, you are going to be proccing huge Groundbreakers and basically insta-killing most mobs that you run into, and it's kind of nuts. You can also pair this with a Knife Drain Static Charge, and then you're going to get Lifesteal from when the grenade spawns, because it's going to count as melee with the fish slap. And then also you can do sliding and get that shock damage chaining around to enemies and get some crazy mobbing out of it. It's a little nuts. There are also some other grenades that you can use that aren't the fish slap, and if you guys are going to do that, I recommend doing a URAD setup. I'm going to show that off next, but first we're going to show off the fish slap. So otherwise, as long as you just run around with like a 390 or a splash weapon, you're basically good to go. So right here, you can see when the racks hit an enemy, they basically just insta-die, and it's kind of nuts. This isn't even a perfect class mod either. We can definitely get some better passives and stuff there. But as long as you keep casting these, you are going to be insta-killing most enemies for the most part, and also staying alive with the Knife Drain. So one thing to note with this class mod though, if this was a flamethrower heavy, and I was using my fire racks like I just did there, it actually would not spawn a grenade. So enemies that are immune to your racks are not going to spawn a grenade. So cryo heavies when you're using cryo racks, flame heavies when you're using the fire racks, and things like that, they are not going to spawn grenades. So that is just something else to keep in mind with this class mod. But otherwise, I'm going to go run over to Tront and show you guys how well this actually works, even on bosses. So now that we're over here at Tront, I'm going to show you guys how much damage you can actually put out with just bosses with this thing. So right there, just one rack ends up killing them in the end. It's a little ridiculous how much damage you can put out when using a fish slap with this class mod. And it's just one of the reasons it's incredibly, incredibly powerful. So I highly recommend you guys go farm this. But otherwise, I'm going to show you guys the way of using this class mod and still making it really, really good, even if you guys do not have a fish slap, because this was a limited time item at the moment. So if you guys don't have that, there's still something else you can do. All right, so the other way of making this class mod absolutely god tier, even if you do not have the fish slap, is going to involve using a URAD anointment. So you guys have to use a front loader or a deathless, doesn't really matter. And then just need URAD on the gun. The Unforgiven is going to be the best, as Megavore can make a bunch of things crit, and you're going to get that bonus crit damage on there. So if you guys want the highest damage possible, use an Unforgiven. This is also going to affect your racks as well. It's absolutely ridiculous. And then for your grenades, you're either going to use the Dakina's Miracle Bomb. I find this the best one personally. This is going to just absolutely destroy enemies, and also leave a fire pool on the ground that's really good at taking out any enemy that happens to survive the initial explosion from it. Some other grenades you can use. The Quasar also works great with the Quasar that's going to knock down all the different enemies and just make it so they can't shoot you. This works very well. And then also its piss for debuffing all the enemies that you're going to be hitting is very, very nice. You're going to get that increased damage on them. Any of those will work pretty well. The Hex works okay, but sometimes it gets caught inside of the enemy, and it's a little weird, so I usually stick to any of these three, but Dakina's Miracle Bomb from DLC 3 is by far the best in terms of damage. So let me show you guys what I mean by that. So I'm just going to be running around with the Unforgiven here. This thing is just going to allow us to destroy all of these enemies in just one rack cast a piece. Then once they actually land, it's just going to instantly blow them up. So now we can go over to Tront. Now we're going to drop in, and I'm going to show you guys how ridiculous this can actually get. And we're just going to cast, and that's one rack there. We casted a little bit too quick for another bomb to go off, but here you can see the fire pool that's on the ground dealing all that damage. And then finally, the fourth rack right there is going to end up killing him, and post-mortem is going to ruin my day. But yeah, guys, this class mod is absolutely insane. I highly recommend going to farm this thing. If you guys want to farm it, you can get it from Dr. Benedict in the new DLC. And it's really not too bad to go ahead and farm. And then, like I said, this is by far from a perfect class mod that I've been using throughout this video. You can make this way, way better. So yeah, guys, overall, the Peregrine class mod is definitely one of FL4K'S best when you are pairing it with the right builds. It is a little ridiculous. And also, this class mod is only going to get better when they hopefully make the grenades a little bit more damaging. We're going to have a lot more different items that we can be using paired with this class mod, and I'm really excited to see what the future holds for it as well. The only slight change I would like to see would be the cooldown for the racks to be a little bit shorter, maybe like 1 to 1.5 seconds, because sometimes you can cast that second rack charge and not have a grenade go off, which is kind of a bummer. I would like to see it brought down just so every rack charge can get a grenade off, but not every single rack that comes from that rack charge get a grenade. Yeah, hopefully this video gave you guys some ideas for your builds and showed you how amazing this class mod actually is. We're going to be having a build with it here very, very shortly, so stay tuned. Make sure you guys are subscribed to the channel, but also leave a like on the video if you guys did enjoy. I hope you all have a fantastic day, and I'll catch you all in the next video. See ya!